Hey everybody, Mrs. Bianchi. We're looking at number 8, which is a little trickier than you realize when you first read it. So let's dive in. Maura charges $11 per hour to babysit. She makes a graph comparing the amount she charges, the y coordinate, to the time she babysits, the x coordinate. Which ordered pair shown is not on the graph? All right, so let's tackle, if we were going to put a 1 here, what would go over here? So let's make sure we understand what the x coordinate is. If we read this again, the x coordinate, see, they talk about that right here. What's the stuff around it? The time she babysits. So the time would be the x coordinate. Now that's in hours, right? So we should probably also put hours next to it. And what's y? Y is the amount she charges, right? So if we're talking about the amount she charges, that's going to be a dollar amount in dollars. Now, if we look at the information that's given in the problem, it's $11, but per hour. So would that imply 1 hour? Yes, that does imply 1 hour. So for 1 hour, she gets $11. All right, so now if we kind of keep this thing going and we think about, well, what if she works for 2 hours? What if she works for 3 hours? What if she works for 4 hours? We would want to look at what are the x coordinates that they even offer as answer choices. So do you see how they have the answer choice of 4 and 1 on here? Now, is this one that is on the graph, or is it not on the graph? If we were actually going to graph this ordered pair, is that on the graph or not on the graph? Well, it would be on the graph, right? So remember, we're looking for things that are not on the graph. Now, they don't even offer the 2 and the 3 as choices here, but if we kind of just think for a minute, we would be taking whatever this is and we'd be multiplying it by 11 to get what's over here. So if we did 2 times 11, wouldn't that be 22? And if we did 3 times 11, wouldn't that be 33? And if we did 4 times 11, 4 times 11, wouldn't that be 44? So let's look at the question, or the choice rather, that has the number 4 in it. That's this. Now, does that match? Is 4 comma, is this an ordered pair that would be on the graph? It would be on the graph, right? We want one that's not on the graph. So we're not going to pick this one, and we're not going to pick this one because they would be on the graph. Now, so what you basically have to do to look at the ones that remain, if we kind of kept going with this pattern, so let's look at the x coordinates that they do offer here. They offer the x. Now we could keep going and go like 5, 6, 7, all the way down to 11. But what are you supposed to see? You're supposed to see the pattern. And what is the pattern? Whatever the x is, which in this case we're saying that we're looking at 11, you would have to multiply that by 11 to get the y value. So what is 11 times 11? And hopefully you remember the trick, but if you don't remember the trick, remember you take the whatever you're multiplying with 11, so in this case it happens to be 11, you take the 2 digits and you spread them apart. So we have a 1 and we have a 1, we'll spread them apart, and you just simply add the 1 plus 1, which would be 2, and you squeeze it in there. So the product of 11 times 11 would in fact be 121. So do you see how that's listed here? But remember, they want the one that's not on the graph. So we talked about the ones that are on the graph, and hopefully you can see now what would not be on the graph, and that's the one you want to pick.